Hello, I'm going to do the Capricorn energy reading, and this may or may not resonate with you. If it does, take the parts that do resonate. If it does not, leave the parts that do not resonate, as those may be meant for someone else. All right, so what is Capricorn struggling with? Three of Wands. What does Capricorn need to look at? Energy's coming in. Energy's about to come in. Energies that want to come in for Capricorn. Ooh, I love that. Power, power, power. Power, power, power. Don't be distracted. For some reason, that's what I was thinking. Don't be distracted by things, by the power that wants to come in for you, for the energy, for the opportunities that want to come in for you. Don't be distracted by it. Don't go to the negative. Don't talk yourself out of it. Don't tell yourself that you don't deserve it, okay? Don't get into the negativity, that energy of that. All right? So Three of Wands. Struggling with the Three of Wands. Where do I go from here? All right, so we had a bunch that came out. So I'm just going to take the ones that I saw. Oh, we're all over the place here. We're all over the place. All right. So we have, where do I go from here? Because it feels like it's a confusion going back and forth, trying to keep your head above water, trying to stay motivated, trying to get through things. You're wondering where stability is. You feel unsettled, right? What you need to look at, Queen of Swords. I feel like it's getting things under control, but a little bit at a time, right? Sometimes we feel like, okay, I have this issue, I have this problem, I have something that's going on in my life that is lacking, or it's an issue, and I'm feeling overwhelmed by the big picture. But how can you cut it down to small pieces, little bits at a time, where you feel that you can handle it? Setting yourself up for success. I've said that many times. That's something that I've had to learn for myself. I'm a Capricorn sun and a Capricorn rising. I get overwhelmed with so many ideas and so many things that I want to do and so many different directions that I want to go in, because I get excited, right? So say there's a project that you want to do, or there's something that you want to have happen, and then you get overwhelmed with all of these things on your plate, and you're like, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that. I mean, it's been like that my whole life. And then it's like I have trouble following and seeing things through because I've spread myself so thin. Or if I have this big mountain, okay, this is a huge problem, I don't want to deal with it, like whatever that may be, if it's finances, or it's a job, or it's like moving, or whatever those things are that you feel is overwhelming in a negative way. It's just like, then you back away and you don't want to do anything. But how do you set yourself up for success is to take little pieces where you can have that little successes for yourself, so that you can build off of that, so you can see the results from it, right? So how can you do that? We have the cross for the future energies, the Emperor. Don't get yourself into the negativity. Having that faith and belief in yourself that you can get past the situation, this obstacle, whatever this represents for you. Something that you're going back and forth with something, you're feeling confused, you're like, how do I get to this destination? Whatever that destination may represent for you. Biting it off in small pieces to where things that can work for you, things that you feel you can succeed at, right? All right, so what else do we have here for Capricorn in this struggling energy? What other messages do we have? We have, yeah, it's a heavy burden, but keep pushing forward, right? 10 of Wands, 9 of Swords, 7 of Wands. The only one that's going to be able to accomplish this and get past this is you. You have to take ownership. You have to take leadership of the situation, right? That you have to pull it all together, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and start charging forward, right? You have all of this weight on your shoulders. You have all of these thoughts or these emotions or these feelings or these responsibilities, that you have all this on your shoulders, and to keep plugging through, to keep pushing through, to keep fighting all of these things that you feel are coming at you, right? King of Cups, what are those things that you need to let go of? There's something that you're holding on to that you need to let go of, right? Definitely, I would say 9 of Swords, letting go of that. Worrying about things that you can't control does not help the situation, right? Focusing on the positive energy, what can you achieve, what can you accomplish? Setting yourself up for success, right? Setting yourself up, knowing your own limits and your own boundaries. Sometimes we don't know those, right? And that's what we need to realize, that what are those things that you need? Are you surrounding yourself with people that are holding you back? Do you need to kind of break away from those relationships? Do you need to kind of distance yourself from those relationships because you feel that you're being distracted by those people or those energies, right? Is it you get sidetracked a lot, right? If you can't seem to focus on one thing because you have too many things on your plate. So what's one thing that you can focus on, right? What is that one thing that you can focus on, that you know that if I focus on this, I'll be able to get an answer for that, right? That I'll be able to work on that. So let's just say you're moving, right? And you have to pack up your whole entire house, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is overwhelming. How am I going to get there? I'm going back and forth. I've got, all of this on my plate that I have to do. I'm worried about it. I've got a time span that I've got to move, right? That I got a time span I got to get out of my house, and I've got to get into my next place. And it's just so much to do that I don't want to do anything, right? I'm worried about it. It's not going to get done. How much time are you spending worrying about it, right? Instead of taking actions and doing things, how much time are you sitting there worrying about things? Okay, so then we're going to look at, right, Queen of Swords. How can I break this down to smaller parts? How can I let things go, right? First off, let go of the worry. I'm not going to get this done, right? Let going about those things that you can't worry. Let go of worrying about, I'm not going to get this done. I'm not going to achieve that. Let that go. Let that out. Focus on the positive. Okay, what can I get done, right? What can I achieve? So make a list. Do I have boxes to pack in, right? Do I have all my supplies? I have the tape. I have the boxes. I have my markers, whatever it is that you need, the bubble wrap. Do I have all my supplies, right? So you make a list, supplies. Then you say, okay, then you write down, okay, what are all the rooms that I need to do? What do I know my true limits are? How much time do I have to pack per day, right? How many days do I have? How much time do I have to pack? How much do I know that I can stay in one room and I can accomplish that? Instead of packing up a little bit in the kitchen and the living room and the dining room and the basements and everything else, let me pick one room, bathroom, right? Start with something small. One closet, okay, I'll do one closet. How do you break that down? What are those other resources that you have that you can help? Do you have friends, right? Do you have friends that are around you that are saying, hey, I want to help you? Do you have family members that, hey, I want to help you? Okay, let's have a packing party, right? Let's schedule a packing party for this weekend. You'll buy some pizza and some, soda, and have everybody come over and help you pack. Then you're able to, you're like, oh, okay, well, I feel better. you're slowly able to come up with those things that you feel that you can set yourself up for success, right? And that goes with anything. It's like, oh, I want to start a new job. Oh my gosh, I have all these bills. I have all these worries. How am I going to pay for things? I want to buy a new house. I don't know how to accomplish that. What am I going to do? This is all. Okay, well, we know what it is that we want to achieve. We know that we're overwhelmed by the situation. We know that worrying about it isn't going to help. How do we find the solutions? How do we break it down? Okay, if I want to find a new job, where do I want to find a new job? What is it? Let me look for jobs. Let me see what's out there. What are they paying, right? What is it going to involve? Do I need to go back to school? Okay, so figuring that out. If it's a relationship, oh, my relationship is all over the place. I feel like it's not making me happy. I feel like it's overwhelming. I'm not feeling fulfilled. I'm worrying about things. I'm wondering if they're cheating. I'm wondering if this or that or this or that. I don't even know if I'm that interested. Okay, so we know that that's the, where's this relationship going to go? Okay, we know that this is the situation. How do we solve that? How do we solve that? What do we need to let go of? Okay, so let going of the Nine of Swords and worrying about things. What is the factual things, right? How do you personally feel about this relationship? What do you want to do in this relationship? What feels good to you? Do you want to pursue this relationship? Do you want to work on this relationship, or do you want to give up, right? Or do you need a separation, or do you want to, work on this relationship? If you want to work on the relationship, what are the things that are lacking? Is it communication? Are you upset about something that this other person did or said, right? Is that something that needs to be communicated? Is that something that needs to be worked on? Breaking it down into smaller bits that you feel that you can handle, that you feel that you can get under control. And that's what I've had to do, is instead of being overwhelmed by the big picture, is how can I break it down to set myself up for success, right? Because this gives you the power, right? This energy that wants to come in. This gives you the power and that motivation because you've set yourself up for success. You've achieved these goals that you've set out, these little goals, and you're setting bigger and bigger goals, and you're feeling like you're accomplishing things, right? When you start to do that, sometimes these old feelings start to come in, right? Then you start to doubt yourself, and you're like, oh, well, do I really deserve this? Or how can this really be happening? Because this isn't how my life goes. It's usually always a disaster, right? Nothing ever works out for me. I'm being challenged. No, then you have to acknowledge those thoughts and those feelings and say, no, I'm not going to give in to these 3 spilled cups. I've got these 2 cups that are above me that are shining and bright and want to work for me, and that's what I'm going to focus on. Yeah, I may have more cups in the negative column than I do the positive, but why am I going to focus on that? That will bring me back over here, right where I was beginning, and that's not what you want to do because you've been making this progress, right? You have to fight for it. I always feel like the more things that you achieve and the better things start to get, right? When you're having that transition, you have to fight for that transition because I feel like the old wants to pull you back in, like the old wants you to go back. Even subconsciously, it's like, well, what is this? This is all new, right? I'm not used to this success and this victory, and I've got the whole house packed before I even have to move, or I've got this great job lined up. I've got my resume out and I'm having offers coming in. What? How does this happen, right? I'm looked at the relationship. I knew I wanted to fight for it, and we started communicating and we started working out, and now I got this great relationship. What? Right? And it's like, oh, well, wait a minute. I need to put myself back in this energy because that's what I was used to. But you're like, no, we're going to fight for that. We ain't going to fall into that, right? Not going back on that path. I moved on from that path, right? I'm doing something new. I am going after something new, something different. I am powerful, right? I am strong. I know my direction. I know where I want to go. I know this feeling of success, and I want to keep that. That's the energy that you want to be in, right? Not in this because this card came out twice, and I feel like this may be what has stopped you in the past because it was that doubt, that self-doubt. But this is what you have to be aware of, because this is going to come back in for you, because this is going to challenge you. This is going to challenge your faith and your belief in yourself to see, well, do you really want this amazing success and victory and this accomplishment, or do you want to put yourself back? Sometimes we just don't realize that we want to keep ourselves in that energy. We have to also, like I was saying before, I think I said, what are we surrounding ourselves with? Are those people that are motivating us, that we're seeing successful people and we want to be in that energy? We want to see how they're doing that. And those are the people that we want to be motivated by, not by the people that are trying to hold us back, right? Not by the people that are seeing us succeed and they don't like that, so they pull us back in. So that's something to be aware of. Woo. Going out on a tangent today, huh? I just feel so motivated. I just feel like I see so many messages, not only on my channel, but other channel, of people that are really trying and they're fighting and they're trying to, things are happening. And even readings, I was watching another reader this morning and she was just saying that the same thing, that the opportunities that are coming in for Capricorn, and that it's time for change. And I feel like Capricorn's going through a big change. And to keep that motivation, and that those days where you feel weak, just use those tools to motivate yourself and keep pushing forward, right? A fork in the road. That's where I feel like it's that fork in the road where you're like, do I go back to what it was because I felt comfortable in the negativity, or do I go out of my comfort zone and push myself towards this success? It's that fork in the road. It's scary, right? It's challenging, but that's what makes life, right? Is those challenges, that if you want better, to pursue that, right? And to go after it. Feeling strong. I feel like Capricorns are feeling strong. And I feel like Capricorns are trying to find the path that works best for them. And for this reading, it's setting yourself up for success by doing little things at a time that you know you can accomplish, that you know, just like I was saying with moving, if you know that you're going to be overwhelmed with the whole thought of packing up the whole entire house, but you know, okay, I can spend an hour. What spot can I pack, right? Go in the bathroom or pick one closet and say, okay, I know I can get this closet done. Set yourself up for success. You get the closet done, you're like, oh, cool, now I did that closet. I succeeded at that. I set myself up for success. Instead of setting yourself up and saying, I'm going to do the bedroom, and I'm going to do, you know, the kitchen, and I'm going to do the attic, and I'm going to do the garage all in one day. Well, hello, I mean, that would be a miracle if you were able to do all that. I mean, some people could, but, you know, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure, because then you're like, when you don't get it done, you're frustrated with yourself. But if you say, okay, I'm just going to do the closet, right? I'm just going to do the closet. And then if you get the closet done, you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to do one more closet, right? But not overwhelm yourself. It's like setting those limits and that boundaries and setting yourself up for success. And that's what helps you to grow. And when the doubts come in, you say, no, I've set myself up for success. I already have a plan that works. I already know how to make it work. I'm not going to fall back into that. All right. Thank you so much for watching. As always, stay positive, stay safe, and I will see you next time.